Hello everyone, welcome to my video on my top 5 DIY woodworking and epoxy projects. Today I'm going to show you how I transformed my old PC desk into a stunning piece of art using epoxy. First, I poured jet black epoxy all over the desk, giving it a sleek and modern look. After letting it dry, I applied a top coat of graphite black epoxy, which gave the desk a beautiful shine. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Next, I added a touch of elegance to the desk by drizzling gold, copper and white epoxy across the surface. With the help of a hairdryer, I manipulated the epoxy to create a mesmerizing black marble effect. And here's the finished product, a stunning desk that's perfect for any modern space. If you're interested in making this project yourself, I've got a step-by-step guide available on my channel.
Today I'm going to show you how I took an old damaged table and turned it into a stunning piece of furniture using epoxy and a beautiful design. To get started, I sanded down the surface of the table to give it a better grip for the epoxy. Then, I wiped away all the dust and mixed up a small amount of epoxy with jet black pigment. I spread it evenly across the surface and left it overnight to dry. The next day, I sanded it down again to give a key for the next coat to help it stick to the first one. After removing the dust, I taped around the edges 2 times to create a barrier to hold in the epoxy until it was a bit less runny. For the top coat, I mixed up the epoxy with a metallic effect pigment powder in graphite black. I also kept a little bit of epoxy to the side to mix up some white and blue for later to create a stunning blue marble effect. Once I had the epoxy all mixed up, I poured it onto the table and spread it evenly across the surface. Then, I took the white and spread lines across where I wanted the pattern to go, followed by the blue. The fun part was using a hairdryer to mix the colors together and create a beautiful, unique design. After letting it sit for 4 hours to thicken up, I removed the tape from the sides and let the epoxy run down with the help of a paintbrush while removing any drips. The next day, I polished it to a very high shine using NW1 fast cutting compound and finished it off with Top Finish 2 for an even higher gloss shine. And there you have it, a stunning table resurfaced with epoxy and a unique design. I hope you enjoyed watching this project come to life, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more DIY projects like this one. Thanks for watching. Where I'll be showing you how I made this stunning epoxy resin lamp with blue orchids embedded in the crystal clear resin. First, I made a form to hold the wet epoxy in order to achieve the desired shape. To prevent the epoxy from sticking to the form, I covered it in plastic tape and screwed it together. Next, I glued together some pieces of pine wood to create the base, leaving it to dry overnight. I started to mix the epoxy resin thoroughly before pouring it into the form.
I then added the fully dried blue orchid flowers, ensuring they were fully covered in resin. After letting it set for 5 hours, I added another layer of epoxy and left it to set for 2 days. Once it was fully set, I used a planer thicknesser to flatten it out before sanding it down with 120 grit sandpaper. Working my way up to 3000 grit sandpaper with water. If you want to learn more about how to sand and polish epoxy resin to a crystal clear finish, be sure to check out my other video where I give a more in-depth tutorial. I cover everything from sanding techniques to using polishing sponges and polishing compounds. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Then, I polished it with polishing sponges and polishing compound until it had a high gloss finish. I then cut the base to size and used a router to create a space for the LED lights and the epoxy to fit snugly into. Once I had placed the lights into the base, I glued the epoxy into place and painted the base. And there you have it, a beautiful and unique epoxy resin lamp with blue orchids embedded in the crystal clear resin. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button for more DIY projects. Where today I'm excited to show you how I created this stunning epoxy resin lamp with red Mali burl and RGB LED lights. To start, I carefully cut the red Mali burl in half, revealing its natural beauty and unique patterns. Then, I created a custom form to hold the epoxy resin in the desired shape, covering it with plastic tape to ensure the epoxy wouldn't stick when dry. After that, I mixed up a small amount of epoxy and left it to cure for 5 hours. Then, I mixed up more epoxy and added a touch of blue pigment, giving it a beautiful tint, and poured it into the form. This was left to cure for 2 days. And began sanding it flat with 80 grit sandpaper. With the epoxy shaped and sanded to perfection, I moved on to creating the mahogany base, which I carefully measured and cut to size. Using a router, I chamfered the corners of the epoxy to give it a sleek and modern look, and then used the same tool to route out a space on the wood base for the epoxy and RGB LED lights to fit into. After that, I mixed up a bit more epoxy to coat and seal it, leaving it to cure for another 2 days. Once fully cured, I began the process of polishing the epoxy with a special compound, giving it a gorgeous and reflective glass-like finish. With the epoxy now looking stunning, I glued it into the base and inserted the RGB LED lights, which came with a handy remote control, making it easy to switch between colors and modes. Finally, I sealed the base with Danish oil to protect the wood and give it a natural and beautiful shine. And there you have it, a stunning and unique epoxy resin lamp, perfect for any home or office. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more DIY projects and tutorials. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Today we're diving into the world of DIY craftsmanship as we create 4 stunning burnt wood epoxy coasters. To begin, I use a blowtorch to burn each bit of wood. I mixed up some epoxy off-screen, preparing it for our project. Once the epoxy was ready, it was time to pour it over the 4 burned bits of wood. Carefully, I poured the epoxy over the wood, ensuring that each piece was coated evenly. Any bubbles that formed were quickly eliminated using a blowtorch, resulting in a smooth and flawless surface. Take a closer look at these coasters. The combination of burnt wood and crystal clear epoxy creates a mesmerizing effect that is sure to impress. After letting the coasters rest overnight, it was time to enhance their durability. I gently sanded each coaster, creating a key that would allow the next coat of epoxy to adhere seamlessly. Once again, I mixed up a fresh batch of epoxy. Poured it over the coasters. This time, my focus was on spreading the epoxy evenly, ensuring that every corner was covered beautifully. With patience, I allowed the coasters to dry completely. It's important to give them ample time to cure. Finally, it was time to add that perfect finishing touch. I polished each coaster using a high-quality polishing compound, enhancing their shine and bringing out their natural beauty. And just like that, our 4 stunning burnt wood epoxy coasters are complete. Their unique blend of rustic charm and modern elegance will make a statement in any space. They truly make for a cohesive and eye-catching set. Thank you for joining me on this creative journey. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on making burnt wood epoxy coasters. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more inspiring projects. Until next time. Let's take a moment to admire how these coasters perfectly complement the matching epoxy table I made in a previous video.